I had twins, and they were premature, and a boy and a girl. Now, when they were born, the doctor delivered one baby. At those times, they didn't know how to tell whether you had one baby or two or what. So he delivered one baby, and he left. And the nurse came over to clean me up, and she touched my body, and she says, "Oh my God, there's another baby in there." I believe that the boy came out first, if I remember correctly, and then he delivered another girl. Yeah, he is Jeremy and she is Geraldine. But she was blinded in the incubator. She was not born blind. But in those days, they didn't know that they'd have to cover their eyes if they're in the incubator. Today, if that happened, you would sue the hospital, but in those days, you had no recourse. There's nothing you could do, really. We just accepted it. We knew that that's what it was, and we did the best we could. She's not completely blind. She's partially sighted. And when she went to school, I had to record her books for her. And I gave them, there was a couple of organizations, they were too slow. And my daughter says, "Mom, if you depend on them, I'm going to flunk out of school. I can't keep up. I have to have the books recorded faster." So I started recording for her, and I recorded all her books for her all the way through college.
My mother formed an organization called Educational Tape Recording for the Blind. It was started on the street in the southwest side of Chicago in a working class neighborhood. She would get up every morning at 5 a.m. She'd have a cup of coffee, she'd sit at that machine, and for every day, 7 days a week, 30 days in a month, 365 days a year, almost every day of her life, she would tape 5 hours in the morning, go to her office where she was president and CEO of Educational Tape Recording for the Blind, run the organization, then come home in the afternoon and tape 2 or 3 more hours.
Cassette 1, side 1, reading from the Reader's Digest. Read the news, and it seems we should all be taking statins, S-T-A-T-I-N-S. They lower the cholesterol, and they're also shown promise in preventing Alzheimer's. I used to record before I went to work. When I came home in the afternoon, I would record. I put in many hours, a lot. I did my books fast because I knew that that was a big favor for them. I was in my house about 2 years. Worked here. I had a milk case on the front porch, and I would put their books out there. They'd pick them up out of there, and then they'd bring their tapes and throw them in the can, and I'd go pick them up all day. And until the Lions Club put us into a store and paid the rent for 2 years. And then after that, we were on our own. We have a shop on Pulaski Avenue, 106 in Pulaski. We have 3 storefronts. One storefront is our library of recorded books. One storefront is the office and where all the business is done. And the middle store is a gift shop, and I run the gift shop.
This organization actually financed much of its activity by setting up a boutique, a retail store, and the retail store was full of new items that were donated by people and then sold to others.
Everything is donated. We can sell it for whatever we want. Clapper, pens, just, all these bookmarks. These are funny. You have to see this. Isn't that cute? We have basketball, we have hockey. We have things nobody else has, a lot of handmade items. And of course we have toys no one else has because my daughter furnishes all the toys and she buys them all over the world.
One of the most interesting things about educational tape recording for the blind is the basic premise. The premise is Why should a blind student or somebody that is disabled or challenged, why should their opportunities be any less than anyone else?
This is our library of recorded books. And every year, we remove any book that has not been called for in 10 years. We take it out because we run out of space if we don't do that. The need to record fast was so enormous that we grew overnight. It didn't take, and I put notices in the drugstores, the grocery stores, the libraries for readers, and oh, so many people responded who wanted to record for me. And that was the beginning, really. It just mushroomed. The blind know each other, and if they know something good is there, they will tell each other. We had no paid people, all volunteers. We have one paid person today because the family thought that I should take it a little easier.
I've known her since I was a kid in grade school, and she'll always be Mrs. Rifkin to me. She's incredible, 94 years old. She comes in every day. She's no longer driving. I pick her up and I bring her home.
This organization never had a paid staff person until 10 years ago, all volunteer.
Well, I really needed to go back to doing some kind of volunteer work. And tell you the truth, I don't remember how. I think some friends told me about this educational tape recording.
I taught with some people who recorded for ETRB, and they got me interested. So after I retired, I started recording and then started working in the office.
Seniors in their 70s and 80s and 90s.
Still taping.
Right. It gave them a reason to get up.
Absolutely, that's
And
the essence of life.
What you know when you grow up is what you think how everybody lives. And I didn't realize until really I was an adult that this isn't the way everybody lived. Just donating time and helping others and all.
I've known the Rifkins ever since I was very young. Mrs. Rifkin and I were neighbors when I was a little boy.
On the block was another premature little boy, and he was born blind. I knew his mother, and we were very good friends. And she didn't know that her child was blind completely. And she was feeling sorry for me because I had one that was partially sighted. And then 6 months later, she realized that her child was completely blind. It was a traumatic experience for both of us. But she trained him, and he's the one that is president of the American Federation of the Blind today.
The National Federation of the Blind does a lot of advocacy based on the philosophy that with proper training and opportunity, blind people can compete on terms of equality with their sighted colleagues. In the early 70s, I think it was 1974, the National Accreditation Council apparently had approached educational tape recording for the blind about accreditation, and Mrs. Rifkin wrote them back a letter saying that, the endorsement that they needed came from their students and they didn't need to hire accreditation. And the National Federation of the Blind of Illinois passed a resolution commending the educational tape recording for the blind for taking this position.
Imagine he was the person on the bus, the sightseeing bus, who explained everything as they came to it. He's totally blind. He memorized it. If you can do that, you could do anything. So you know that he's special. And we recorded every book for him.
She helped people succeed, and how do we know how many hundred blind people, possibly thousands by now, that she has helped in their educational and professional careers.
We have several teachers teaching in Chicago. They'd never hired a blind person before, and even one of them even won the award for the best teacher of the year. I was so surprised when I saw that on television.
Wow, and